my name is Charlie, and this is a series I've been running over here on the channel for 8 months now. I think this is part 8. That's crazy. That's insane. If this is your first time here, don't worry about this being part 8. You don't have to watch this series in any particular order, so you can fully just watch this video, and then if you like it, you can go back and watch the other 7 videos at whatever point you want. This series is just me going through an export that I took of my Goodreads Want to Read shelf, again, like 8 months ago. And I'm going through it 100 books at a time, 100 books kind of per video, line by line, just removing anything that I don't think I actually want to read. So I'm just trying to clean up my Want to Read shelf on Goodreads so that it's more useful. It got way bloated. It was close to 900 books, and it's just not a helpful tool anymore. So I'm trying to correct that at least a little bit. And we've been doing a really good job. I feel like I've cut like half of this list off, which is a lot of books. I'm getting a lot out of this, and it's been a lot of fun too to talk to people in the comments about the books that I take off and leave on, and all the mistakes that I made and things like that. We're getting close to the end here, which is a bummer, but I'm also kind of excited to move on from this and to have the completed product and kind of see if this was all worth it. So far, it seems like it's been worth it. I pretty much just intend for this video. I pretty much intend for these videos to just be kind of background noise for you, so you can just put it on, do whatever you're doing in your day, and just listen to me talk about books for like an hour-ish each time. All I ask from you is that while you're watching or listening to this video, if you hear me mention any books that you love and I say that I'm going to remove them from my list, or the other way around, if I say I'm going to keep a book on my list and you hate that book, let me know. Let me know that I'm making a mistake, and then I can go back here and make edits based on the comments. That's been by far the best part of this, is people telling me how wrong I am about certain books, or that I made the right call. So it's been super helpful. I've been loving that. I have a couple rules that I've been trying to stick to guidelines more like while I make my cuts here, and it's essentially like, if I have 1 million books by an author on my list and I haven't read any of them, I'm pretty much just removing all of them. And it doesn't mean that I don't want to read anything by that author. It's just that I know that I don't want to read all of them, or I don't know that I want to read all of them because I haven't read any of them. So there are some authors like Stephen King that I'm just removing all Stephen King books from my TBR because I really only need to read one of them. And if I read that one and I like it, I can add another one of them onto my TBR. But it's not helpful to have 20 Stephen King books on my TBR. So that's what I'm trying to do here. That's one of my rules, at least, that I try to keep to. There are some authors where I break through that, right? Like I have a lot of T. Kingfisher, for example, on this list, and I love T. Kingfisher. I've read a good amount of T. Kingfisher, so I'm fine with having 5 other T. Kingfisher books on my TBR because I do know that I love that style, right? So those are some things that I keep in mind while I go through this, but yeah, mostly there are no like hard and fast rules. I set guidelines and then I break them all the time in this list, but yeah, it's been fun. So that's it. There's not really much more to it here. I'll dive right in here. Yeah, I'll talk to you here at the end. Okay, last month we left off on the Book of Love. We cut this. We said we don't care to read this one. So we can move right along to Birnam Wood. Birnam Wood, I feel like I don't want to read this. I forget what it's about. Let me read through this. It's not doing anything for me. It's a literary fiction mystery kind of thing. I don't know what it is about it exactly. I feel like I've heard a couple people that I know in real life read it and like didn't care about it. And other than that, I haven't really heard much about it in general. I like the cover, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. So goodbye. Next up, we have The Lions of Al Rassan. This is Guy Gavriel Kay. Why do I feel like I've already seen this on this list? I haven't. I'm wrong. Okay. I feel like I do. I feel like I should read Guy Gavriel K at some point. I'll be honest though, it doesn't seem like the time for me. I don't know why. This feels like a classic, like high fantasy kind of book, and I think it should happen to me. But oh, look at this, Patrick Leo of YouTube. He's huge on the internet. He DNF'd this book. That's very surprising. I generally think that I vibe with his opinions on books. So while I don't generally hold a ton of stock in reviews, his is one that I do take fairly seriously. However, I mean, there's a lot of other reviews on this book that of people who loved it. I can't really explain it. It just doesn't sound like something that I need right now. I'm spending too long on this one. I'm gonna cut it out. Neon Yang. I've talked about Neon Yang already in this. I took out one of his books. I think I'm gonna be taking this one out as well. The Black Tides of Heaven, Tensorit 1. So this is part of a series of some sort, it seems. He's got the coolest covers, I think. Or I don't know if it's a he. Neon has the coolest covers. But I don't know. I do see Ross liked it. Again, I'm being swayed by a review. I definitely am very well aligned with Ross Hardy's reviews on books. And he liked it. Maybe I'll talk to Ross first before I make any decisions there. But I think it's just going to be taken off. I'll give it a question mark. I'll see if he has a review on his channel, Hardy's Books. Great channel. If you haven't heard of them, go check them out. The Spear Cuts Through Water is going to stay. This, I sort of half-heartedly started this at some point during a buddy read. And it sounds really good. It has really high praise. It just wasn't the time for me yet. It was like a little thinky, not even thinky. It was really interesting. I had only gotten like a chapter or two in, but it switches POV a lot, or not POV. It switches like person. So it was first person, second person, and third person, all like sometimes in the same chapter. I think it can go between those things. So that is really interesting, but something about it, I don't know. It just didn't work for me at the time. It's a little flowery maybe, and maybe that's just not what I needed. I was doing audiobook, but somebody was telling me I should read it physically. Somebody else said the audiobook was fine. I couldn't decide. I got overwhelmed and I just put it down. But I do want to read it. So it's on my short list. I know a lot of people read that last year and it was like, one of their top books of the year. So I'm definitely excited about that one. So I will be getting to that eventually. House of Suns doesn't sound familiar. Alastair Reynolds sounds vaguely familiar. Sci-fi space opera. I have enough sci-fi space operas to work through, so I'm going to be removing this from my list. Rivers of London. I actually was considering reading this soon because I'm going to go visit London very, very soon. In a couple of weeks, I'm taking a trip to London. So I don't know. I thought it was maybe the time to check it out. I don't fully know what this is. I know it's like urban fantasy kind of book, and I've heard good things from a couple of my friends that live over in the UK, and I am intrigued. I'm intrigued. So yeah, it would be my first Ben Aronovich book, which could be cool. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Clytemnestra is going to stay. I do have another book by this author up on my shelf. I bought it fairly recently, and I might read that one first just because I do. Again, it's on my shelf upstairs, Babylonia. Babylonia is the one that I have. But I'm going to leave this on regardless. Mair of Lady Mair Reads absolutely devoured this book and loved this book. Made it sound really, really good. So definitely interested in that. Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh is also going to stay. I've read 2 of Emily Tesch's novellas, and I loved them. So really interested in picking up more of her work. She had another book come out recently, or it's like still coming out. I can't remember. Let me see. The Incandescent. Yeah, it looks like it came out already in May. Oh, this month. Wow. Okay. Cool. I'm intrigued. I don't know if I would go with Some Desperate Glory or the newest, but I'll probably just go here. Go sort of more in publication order. But yeah, regardless, super interested in that. I loved the Green Hollow duology by her. Absolutely loved it. If you have not read that, highly recommend. Abroad in Japan. I think I'm actually going to remove this. I know people love this, but I think that's somewhat tied to knowing who Chris Broad is. I remember having this recommended to me. I think he's big on YouTube or something, and I imagine that maybe knowing that and being familiar with his content helps you be interested in this. But I'm somewhat intrigued, but not enough, I think. So I am going to remove that, but let me know, again, as always, if that's a mistake. In the Shadow of Their Dying is absolutely going to stay. I'm actually planning on reading this fairly soon, maybe a couple months from now, but relatively speaking, fairly soon. It sounds really fun. It sounds really dark. It's two authors, and it sounds like they kind of went back and forth on, like, I'm going to write something horrible happen to these characters, and then the next one's like, oh cool, that was bad, I'm gonna one up it, and then they're like, oh, that was awful, I'm gonna one up it, and that's what it sounds like they did. So really dark fantasy, grimdark horror kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see what that's about, but I've heard very good things. Andrew Watson specifically really enjoyed this. No Longer Human. This is a different kind of book. This was highly recommended to me. My friend Sen, who is probably watching this video because I essentially make these videos for him at this point. I think he's my number one fan when it comes to this series. Anyway, he said this was fantastic, or at least that's my interpretation of what he said about it. What he really said was that it was like really dark and horrible and harrowing, but I think poignant is a good word for it. It's a very sad book. And there he is now, Sen, Bridgeburner Books. You can find him on Instagram at that same username. Pretty new account. He's doing great, though, taking beautiful shots of a lot of tremendous books. And here he is. He gave it 4 stars, and he quoted it. "Mine has been a life of much shame. I can't even guess myself what it must be to live the life of a human being." Right away, that's very well written. that hits pretty hard. It's a very sad book. I know that to be true. It's the author himself, I believe, ended up taking his own life. It's a very tragic story behind the book, and I think that the book itself must be fairly tragic as well. But regardless, it sounds poignant is the word that I've already said. Poignant. It sounds important to me to read this, and I believe it's very short. Yeah, it's a novella. It just sounds good to me. Maybe not like an enjoyable read, but definitely a book that I think I would get a lot out of. We'll see. So definitely staying on my list. Seasons of the Albion. Well, I have no idea what that is. Let's see what that is. I have no clue. I don't know who this author is. I don't know what this is. I wonder, this looks like maybe it's an indie, short stories. Is it a collection of short stories? 4 seasons, 4 stories. Okay, so 4 stories, I suppose. The cover kind of gives me like YA vibes, but it doesn't list that here. It specifically says adult, so maybe it's not YA, but it sounds very interesting. It goes through a few different characters here, and it looks like we follow them on their own paths, which come together, and yeah, so maybe it's short stories that are seemingly disconnected that come together. I'm intrigued for sure. Yeah, okay, you can stay on my list. I don't know, novella, but also kind of in the vein of short story collection. I'm a little confused by it, but again, it sounds interesting. I want to have like a month of only reading novellas, so maybe this can make it into that list. Kagan the Damned. This somewhat sounds familiar. Let's see. Kagan the Damned. Okay, Mair loved it, so that's probably why I've heard of it. It's dark fantasy horror. I'm intrigued. I think I remember Mair talking about this book, and I remember calling out that the cover looks like, it makes it look like it's a romantasy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to me, that looks like a romantasy kind of cover, which is, I feel like I have to be in the mood for romantasy. So the cover itself is kind of off-putting. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, or that's what they say, but that's literally what the cover is for. It's to sell you the book. So you are supposed to judge a book by its cover, and I will fight you on that. But anyway, it's not. It does not seem to be at all a romantasy novel. And again, I'm not even saying that I don't like romantasy, but I have to be in the mood for it, I imagine. So anyway, it's not that. So that's an irrelevant point. I'm just saying that the cover is off-putting to me sometimes. But anyway, it sounds really good. I have to go back and watch Mair talk about this book, but I remember, because I'm sure she made a video of it. Again, Lady Mair Reads on YouTube. But I feel like I remember she made some content about it. It may have just been like Instagram stories or a post over there, but I'm going to find her video and watch it. But either way, a 5-star review from Mair means that it has to stay on my list. That's going to stay for sure. The Historian, I believe, is also going to stay on my list. This one, I believe, comes recommended by Ross again from Hardy's Books. I believe I remember him reading this and enjoying it. Oh, yep, there's his face right there. And yes, there is his rating, 5 stars. And I see Alvin, my buddy over here, has also read it and gave it 4 stars. So that's high praise from 2 people that I believe when they talk about books. So again, absolutely keeping that. A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. Wow. A Sorceress Come to Call. Wow. I can't speak. The book on the screen right now. A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. Nailed it. This book sounds great. I have it on my shelf. I love T. Kingfisher. I've read 4 or 5 of her books at this point, and I've enjoyed almost all of them. One of them I didn't love, but it was like a sequel that I didn't think we needed. Anyway, I didn't love it. The rest of them I have thoroughly enjoyed. So I'm super excited to get back into her writing style. I don't know when I'll fit this in, but again, it's absolutely going to stay. Oh boy, we're keeping a lot of books here, and we're up to Ascendant, which I know I'm also going to keep. Although I feel like I've already talked about Ascendant in this series. Let's see. We have, and we did keep it. Oh, looks like I talked about it twice already. And yeah, I did keep it. I'm going to keep it, but I'm not going to keep it here. So I'm going to delete this line item just, again, because we've already talked about it. I've already decided on it. And yeah, I am keeping it. I just don't need duplicates of it. Kindred, Young Adult Edition. Interesting. If I was going to read Kindred, which I do plan on doing, I would not read the YA edition. Young Adult Edition, is that what that means? I mean, it doesn't say it's a YA book. I don't really know. I don't know what a young adult edition is, but I just need the regular edition. So I don't need this on my list. Partial Function. This is okay. This is an odd one. It's okay. It's absolutely going to stay on my list. I'm 100% keeping it on here. It's like, yeah, it says here, if Taken starred Michelle Yeoh and was set in Jurassic Park. That's wild. I'm very intrigued by that. J.C.M. Byrne is an author I've been reading. I've read a couple of his books. He's the one behind Wistful Ascending, which I've read. Maybe I've only read one full novel, and I've read the novella. That might be true. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, whatever it is that I've read by him, I've fully enjoyed. This book, I believe, it's like kind of its own series, but it's woven into that other series that I just mentioned. I think you read books 1 through 4 of Wistful Ascending, or the Hybrid Helix. Is that what that series is called? Wistful Ascending is book 1 of that series. I think you read the first 4 books, and then you read this, and then you read book 5, and it makes sense. Like, I think that's the reading order. There's something like that. So I'm going to keep this on my list, even though like I have to read a couple books before I get to it, because I do think it's partially its own series. Like I think it will have a sequel. But yeah, anyway, I'm keeping it on my list. The West Passage. I don't know what this one is. Is that the one? Jared. Yep. Okay. Whoa. That's a really cool cover. Really interesting art style. Is that bird eating someone? It totally is. This castle-headed lady has 3 arms. A lot going on here. This person also has multiple arms. Whoa. Okay. Really, really cool cover there. I know a few people who want to read it, but I don't know anybody who has read it. When the guardian of the West Passage died in her bed, the women of Grey Tower fed her to the crows and went back to their chores. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember ever hearing about this book before, but it sounds good to me, so I am going to keep it. I'm curious where I heard about that one. I don't know, but yeah, it sounds good. The synopsis, at least, sounds really good. When Shadows Grow Tall. It's not doing it for me. I'm going to remove that one from my list. The Canopy Keepers, Scorched Earth, number 1. Scorched Earth sounds familiar, but this book doesn't. I don't think it really does anything for me, the synopsis there, so I'm going to remove that one. The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. This one is going to stay. I haven't read Lev Grossman's work, but I'm intrigued by it. Is he the author of Magicians? That sounds familiar, right? The Magicians. Yeah, The Magicians, 1, 2, and 3. Again, I haven't read any of his stuff, but it sounds like it'll be up my alley. Dani, I believe, Dani, who's, by the way, also now on YouTube, I believe her channel name is Dani B Reading, and great content there as well. So again, another channel for you to check out. Loves this book. I believe she's recommended it to me in the past, somewhere in a comment or something. Maybe she recommended it just in one of her own videos. I can't think right now, but either way, they speak very highly of it, and honestly, the Magicians as well. I think they're just a fan of this author. So I'm definitely intrigued, and I definitely want to read something by Lev Grossman, and I think maybe I would start here. It's a standalone where Magicians is a trilogy, so I feel like maybe I could start with a standalone. We'll see. I'm going to keep it on my list for now. My Darling Dreadful Thing. What is this? My Darling Dreadful Thing. Oh, this is a cover ad. I know that to be true, and honestly, I also know that I thought this was a tiger when I added it. I don't know if that makes any sense or if anybody else can see that, but like a white tiger. It kind of, when it zoomed out, almost looks like a tiger in a veil, but it's a person. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's horror. It's queer, gothic kind of stuff. Could probably be good, but I don't know enough about it, and I have enough horror already on my list, so I'm going to remove this for now. Plumleaf, the Goblin, a short story. I mean, short story I can keep. I mean, Plumleaf is a cute name of a short story. I have no recollection of this at all, but whatever. Short story, 23 pages, I can handle that. So that gets to stay. The Dollmakers, I've heard, a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of reviews for this book. I believe Lynn Buchanan she was one of Brandon Sanderson's students, and now she works with him or works for him or something like that. Something like that. I believe she was also in the read along that he did for Tress of the Emerald Sea. So I've seen her talk in that. I feel like I'm down to support her just because she seems cool from the interactions that, or not the interactions, but from what I've seen of her, she seems interesting. The tone of the story and the general ideas seem really cool. I forget exactly how it works, but they make dolls, and the dolls are sort of alive or something, and I can't remember how it works. I'm not going to try to describe it to you, but I remember that it sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna keep that around. It says it's perfect for fans of Studio Ghibli films. and the works of T.J. Klune and Travis Baldree, and I am those people. I like those things. So yeah, I'm into it. 5 Broken Blades. I'm honestly going to remove this from my list based solely off of hearing one person talk about it on the internet, and they DNF'd it. But good enough for me. I just, yeah, I don't need it. Song of Achilles. No, the Song of Achilles I loved. This I read and loved. The Son of Achilles is the book that I'm looking at here. What is this? I assume like Greek mythology type novella, but it doesn't sound like anything that I need. So I am unfortunately going to be removing this from my list. Quantum Dark, the classic sci-fi adventure. Probably going to remove this because, okay, I won't remove it just because I have this on my Kindle. I forget why I have it on my Kindle. It must have been like $1 or something, and I think that the cover is neat. It like looks like it's in a very old style. Yeah, I don't know. Looks cool. I don't know anything about it other than that I own it. So I'll keep it though. I can't explain it. That's what I'm going to do. The Wickwire Watch, I am also going to be keeping. I think this was like an SPFBO, not winner, but finalist. At least I think that's true. Maybe it did win. I honestly can't remember, but I remember watching what's her name? Murphy Napier, huge on YouTube. I remember watching her review of this, and she was like extremely positive on it. I believe the sequel is out now. The Spider Key. Yeah, okay, that's out. Oh, there might be a third even. That was also published in 2023. I'm confused. A fourth also. Okay, I'm crazy. There may be 4 books out in this series. Anyway, I would start with book 1. But yeah, I'm going to keep that on my list for sure. Orbital, also going to be keeping. I have this again on my shelf upstairs. This was highly recommended to me by the owner of my local bookstore. It's my go-to bookstore, and he said it was really good. It does sound a little bit like I won't be into it, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's very, it's literary fiction, but I think it's like very literary fiction. Like it's a very flowery prose. I remember him describing to me a scene, and he was like, like they could talk about a spoon floating in space and, for 4 pages, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever read. And I remember him saying that in like a very positive light, and me thinking like, I would absolutely never, ever, ever want to read about a floating spoon for 4 pages. So it may not be for me, but it's going to stay on my list because of his recommendation. The Fisherman is another one. Again, I have it on my shelf, and I want to read it. I want to read this very soon. I think this will be read sort of like in spooky season this year, sometime in September, October, November, one of those months. I'll be trying to slip this in. Rogue or Rouge by Mona Awad. I don't know that Mona Awad really sounds like she's going to be for me. I know that I have this on my list, and she has like that bunny book, and I don't think it sounds like it's for me. So I'm going to remove it from my list, and I can do that fairly comfortably. Now I have 3 in a row here from Dungeon Crawler Carl. I love Dungeon Crawler Carl. 4 in a row. I don't need that. I've read 3 of these. 3 Dungeon Crawler Carl books. And I will be continuing the series, but I don't need the whole series on my TBR. It's just taking up space. So I've read this one here, book 3, the Dungeon Anarchist's Cookbook, so I'm going to remove that. I don't need book 6 or book 5, but I will leave book 4 on my TBR because that's the one I'm up to. So The Gate of the Feral Gods. I'm super excited. I'm hoping to get to that very soon. Did I literally just talk about? Yeah, okay, it's right here. I'm removing this book again. It's a duplicate. Actually, I'll just remove the whole line. The Dance of Shadows by Ragba Payne. I am so excited for this book. This book is another one from Ross Hardy over at Hardy's Books. And I dropped that name like 5 times this video, but he loves this book. He has a great review for it, and I am going to London, like I said, I'm going to London for a week, and then I'm going to be traveling around in the UK for the following week. And one of my stops in that second week of the trip is that I'm going to go to Tunbridge Wells, where Hardy's Books it's made up of Ross and Laura, and they have their own physical bookshop, and it's located in Tunbridge Wells, and I cannot wait. I'm going to go to that store, and I'm going to buy this book because Ross has spoken so highly of it, and I know that they have a very pretty edition. I've already requested that they keep it in stock for me when I come visit. I can't wait. Now I have a couple of Neil Asher books in a row. Neil Asher, I think, is he horrible? I think Neil Asher is horrible as a person. I believe that that's true. So I'm going to remove these kind of sight unseen. I did not pull them up just because I tried to look them up and it didn't work. And I think I'm right that he is a terrible person. So I'm not going to read his books, and that's fine with me. Stephen King, I'm not going to pull his book up, not because he's a terrible person, but because I don't know where to start yet with Stephen King, but it probably will not be The Eyes of the Dragon, which I've never heard about until just now. So that can go. Jacinto's Remnant. This is a Gears of War book. I have it on my shelf. I borrowed it from my father-in-law too long ago, and I haven't read it yet. But this is book 2. I don't need that on my TBR. Book 1, Aspho Fields, is going to stay on my TBR, and I'm hoping to get to these relatively soon. They're written, I mean, the font is really big. They're not very long books. It should be a really easy read. And I liked the Gears of War games, and he said that the books are good. So I'm excited to get to them. I haven't picked them up just yet. The Weaver and the Witch Queen is another one that I am keeping for sure. And another one that I have on my shelf. And it's another one, again, that I have on my shelf because of Mair, of Lady Mair Reads, who read it and loved it. Yeah, there's her 5-star rating right there. So it stays. Ascension by Nicholas Binge. Where is it? Here it is. I've already talked about this a couple times, or no, just once before, but I did remove it, and I am going to be removing this line item here because I don't need the duplicate. The Silverblood Promise is going to stay. I was bummed I missed out on a buddy read of this, but I think everybody kind of unanimously in that buddy read loved it. It sounds like it's a murder mystery, but fantasy murder mystery, which I'm into that. So I will be keeping this, and I am very excited to get to it. I don't know when it'll happen, but I'm excited. The Dragonbone Chair. I don't really know a ton about this. I just know that I want to read it. I've heard it's good, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it on my list. The Innocent Mage, Kingmaker, Kingbreaker. This sounds familiar. Okay, when you misuse magic, they kill you. Okay, honestly, the synopsis doesn't do it for me. So I'm going to remove this one, but I don't feel super good about this choice. So yeah, as always, let me know if I made a mistake there. Notes on an Execution. This doesn't sound familiar at all. Oh, but now I'm seeing it, and it does look familiar. Who's this? Mystery thriller, fiction. It's not jumping out at me right now. I am going to remove that one. The Palace of Eternity by Bob Shaw. Another one that, I have no recollection. It's another sci-fi space opera, although this one is a novella, 173 pages. It looks interesting. I like the cover, honestly. It's got this kind of old style to it, but no, the synopsis doesn't reach out to me. I'm gonna remove it. A couple Caden Love books on here. I'm conflicted with Caden Love. I feel like I've heard decent things about his writing, actually. He's got a very large Instagram account. It's sort of like, I feel like at some point he just showed up in my algorithm and didn't leave. But I have heard pretty favorable things, about his book, Elegy of a Fragmented Vineyard. And specifically the the novella. So I'm going to take his book off, but I think I'm going to give the novella a shot. I'm going to keep it. I'll keep the novella. I'm taking off the novel. One Dark Window, I'm going to keep. This is romantasy that I think I will like, so it's going to stay. This like blew up on the internet a year or two ago, and people are obsessed. So, gonna keep it. I've heard it's very good. It sounds like it's kind of up my alley. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I haven't read anything by Blake Crouch before, and I don't really know where to start. Although I do see that I have already kept Dark Matter in the past, so I'm going to remove this line item, and that's it. Move on from there. Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, I'm going to keep. Just sounds really good. I remember watching a Daniel Green review of this, and yeah, it sounded fully up my alley. They have cool covers too, which is always a plus. So yeah, I will be keeping Black Sun on my list. The Necessity of Rain. I do agree that rain is necessary. Cool cover, fantasy, but it's a queer fantasy. That's fun. The divine are losing their divinity. That's interesting. Yeah, okay, you get to stay. You sound good. That's yeah, okay. I'm excited for that. The Forsaken Planet by Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson. Have I talked about Brian Wilson yet? Seems like a nice guy. I think that there is a novella. Or wait, what did I just say? Oh, there's not a novella, I guess. I think I was thinking of this, Princess of Eldir. This is a novella, but it's not a prequel. It looks like it comes between book 2 and 3. So, okay, yeah, the Forsaken Planet can stay. I'm curious to try his writing. The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs, I'm going to remove this because I already read it and I liked it quite a bit. So that's going to stay. Jeff Vandermeer, I think I'm going to remove Jeff Vandermeer from like any future mentions on my list. Not because I don't want to read his stuff, but because I want to read Authority before I read more of his stuff. So I'm going to remove it. I liked the first book of his that I read, Acceptance. Acceptance is book 3, I think. I've read Annihilation, book 1, in a series, and I want to finish that series before I decide if I want to read more of Jeff Vandermeer's work. I really liked the first book, or I don't know if I really liked it. I liked it, and I was definitely intrigued to read more. I just haven't yet. I think I'll probably reread Annihilation before I read book 2, because I feel like I had a lot of questions at the end of the book that would be answered in a reread. It sounds like the move, so I'm gonna do that before I pick up new books by him or like, switch series. Sometimes a Great Notion by Ken Kesey. I don't care about that. Goodbye. 5 Decembers. Oh, this is like a crime thriller, like a noir kind of book. I've never read a noir book before, I don't think, at least. I don't think this is gonna be for me. Maybe it would, but I don't know. Right now I'm not feeling it, so that's gonna go. Medea? Not this one. Eilish Quinn, this one. Greek mythology. I have a lot of Greek mythology to work through before I get to something like this. So, goodbye. Wind and Truth, Stormlight Archives number 5. I have read and I have loved. Elder Race by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've talked about this before. I've not read anything by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I do not believe that I would start here. I think similar to Stephen King, I'm just going to remove Adrian Tchaikovsky off of my list here until I know where to start with his work. So I'm going to remove this one, and skipping ahead a little bit, I see 3 in a row down here that I am just going to auto remove as well. And again, it's not because I don't want to read Adrian Tchaikovsky's works. It's because I don't know where to start, and I don't need all of his stuff on my TBR if I don't even know that I like his style. So I should read one, like pick one to start with, read that, and then work my way through the rest of his catalog. Moving back up, we have The Seventh Perfection, or not The Seventh Perfection, just Seventh Perfection by Daniel Polanski. I remember this cover, and I don't know why, but I do. It's a novella, and I think I got it out from the library once, and then I brought it right back because I just didn't pick it up. And yeah, that's enough for me. I'm going to take it off. Pilgrimage of Swords. Again, this sounds familiar. Is this another novella? Yes. Oh, okay. This one is going to stay, though. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Yeah, Andrew over on YouTube, Andrew Watson, he loved this. Spoke very highly of it. So that's going to stay. I'm going to keep that. Empress of Salt and Fortune absolutely gets to stay. For some reason, I feel like I've already talked about this, but maybe not. Nope. Okay, cool. Yeah, that stays. I'm very excited about this. Again, it's a novella. It just sounds really good. This whole series sounds really good. So this is book one. That's where I'll start. I want to keep that. Under My Skin by KJ Parker. It didn't even come up. KJ Parker. There it is. I think Oh, this is a short story collection. It's a fantasy short story collection. It's huge. Some of these must be like novella length short stories. It looks like they are. These underlined ones, I would bet, are like novellas that are just added into this short story collection. I'm going to remove it, not because I don't think it'd be good, but because it's just, I don't know why. It's just not speaking to me. So I'm removing that from my list, but that's okay. The Lies of the Ajungo. Very interesting. As it seems like there's like some agreement with, between these two places, and this one says that they will send water to this other place if their 13-year-olds cut out their tongues, and our main character is about to turn 13, but his mom's thirsty. So somebody lets him give his mom water in exchange for him to go out and bring water back for the city. That is a strange premise, but okay, I'm into it. And again, it's a novella, very short, 87 pages. I'm into it. I keep you on my list. The Past is Red. Is this another novella? It is a sci-fi novella this time. They go to a place called Garbage Town. Interesting. Post-apocalyptic sci-fi. I'm gonna get rid of this one. I read through that whole synopsis, and I don't think that sounds interesting for some reason. Ooh, Ring Shout. Ring Shout's gonna stay. Ring Shout I have on my list, and I want to read that again sometime in September, October, November time of this year. So yeah, absolutely going to stay for sure. To Be Taught If Fortunate. I want to read this, so it's gonna stay. Is this a... Yeah, again, it's a novella. I've only read 2 things by Becky Chambers, but I really enjoyed them. And this is another sci-fi queer novella by her, and I'm intrigued. I want more. I want more of her stuff. So yeah, I will be keeping that. We have come to that big Adrian Tchaikovsky chunk, so skipping over that, moving to Panacea. I'm keeping it on my list. I might read this very soon too, honestly. The cover sticks out in my mind, and I think of it fairly often. I got the ebook for this a while back, but it looks good. It sounds good. I'm excited. It sounds like brutal, and I'm intrigued. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds good. I'm keeping it. Keeping it. The Throne of Darkness, Awakening the Lightforged. Can't explain it, but it doesn't do anything for me, so I'm taking that off. Blood Over Brighthaven I've already read since I made this export, so I can take that off. Mushroom Blues, Sam Harrison just spoke of this in a review recently. This, I think it tied for the SPFBO whatever this year, but his review made it sound like maybe it wouldn't be for me. It was a really good review. All his reviews are really good, but the issues that he took with the book, I think, are all or were all issues that I see myself taking with the book. And he was generally favorable of the review. Of the book. He liked it for sure. But I think the issues he had sounded like things that would bug me. So for now, at least, I'm going to remove this. But I could see adding it back down the line. Bryony and Roses, T. Kingfisher. T. Kingfisher, I think, is just one of those authors where I've read enough of their works that I am comfortable having multiple of their books on my TBR. So I am going to keep this on my TBR. I've just really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed most of what I've read by them. So yeah, it can stay. The First Binding. Okay, Mair. This is another one for you. I'm going to keep this for sure. I've heard a lot of people kind of like rag on this book because they say it's like just a ripoff of Name of the Wind. But from what I can tell, and from what Mair and a few of my other friends have said, it's not. I don't know why people say that. I think it probably uses like a framing narrative, and so does Name of the Wind, and maybe some things there are parallels, and I could see that, but I think a lot of fans of Name of the Wind have come here and like sullied its ratings. That's my understanding, at least, because they were bitter about that there was some similarities between the two books or series, but you know what? I think this series is going to be finished before his is. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued, and I want to read the sequel as well, or at least I think I do, because I think I'm going to really like The First Binding. So, yeah, I'm going to keep The First Binding on my TBR for sure. Mirror Mage, T. Kingfisher, again, just keeping it. Lost Ark Dreaming, I have already read. It was all right. I enjoyed it well enough. Ithaca, I believe I'm going to take off. I believe. And that's just because, well, actually, no. Okay, I have a lot of Greek mythology that I need to get through because I like Greek mythology and I haven't read a ton of it. But I think this is actually one that I want to keep on. I think this is on my short list. Ithaca. It's about Penelope. Oh, it's a series. I don't think I realized that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. It sounds good. I'm going to keep it. So that can stay. Fantastic Four Volume 1. I have not, I don't think, ever read a Fantastic Four comic book. But for some reason, I think I was recommended to start here at some point. So I'll keep that. I'll keep that on here. Strange Adventures. I believe that this is also, or wait, Tom King. Yeah. This is a comic book as well. I don't know much about this, but again, I feel like I remember hearing about it. I remember being recommended it. And although I can't remember why or by who, I think I will keep that. Same with Supergirl and The Vision. Actually, both of those are also by Tom King. Maybe I will just keep The Vision out of these three, now that I'm thinking of it. It's the most highly rated, and I don't know who this is, like who Strange Adventures is about. I don't typically, or I haven't typically been very interested in Supergirl or Superman or any of that kind of gang, so I'm not super interested in that. Didn't mean to say super, but The Vision, if this is what I'm thinking it is, maybe it's not. Yeah, it is. I do think Vision is a cool character, so I would be interested in reading this. And it sounds like there are two entries, and it just, yeah, I remember that this sounds good. It looks good, and it was recommended to me at some point, so I want to pick that up. Batman. I love Batman. I want to read more Batman, and I guess I could read this, but maybe I want to do a little more research into what this is, because I don't remember this cover or anything like that. I mean, it seems like it's Probably a pretty good place to start. I don't know. I'm going to take it out. Goodbye. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, you can come back. Come on back. Okay, that can stay. The Old Man and the Sea, Ernest Hemingway. I do want to read more classics, but for whatever reason, I don't think this is one that I want to. Oh, it's short. It's short. 96 pages. Everybody loves this, right? Everybody loves The Old Man of the Sea. Maybe I should just keep this. I'll just keep it. It's short. I'll keep it. A Killer and a King. I've spoken to Tom Dumbrell on Instagram a few times, and he's a super nice guy. And this is another fantasy murder mystery type book. So with all that combined, I'm absolutely going to keep it. I believe I even have spoken to the illustrator, or like the designer of the cover, and I think this cover is gorgeous. So yeah, very interested in picking this up. Yeah, it could stay. I actually started it once, but then I got distracted and I didn't go back, but I really want to. Lord Fowle's Bane. I also want to keep this. I forget exactly who recommended this, but it sounds like a kind of a classic epic fantasy sort of book that like I should read. It feels like one of those. Feels like 1977 it came out. Feels like a staple. Cams, that's who recommended it. Yeah. He really enjoyed it. I think like years ago he read it, and then he reread it in the past couple of years, and he really enjoyed it. So he made it sound very good in a couple of videos that he made on it. So I will keep that one. The English Understand Wool. What? I don't know what this is. I don't care about it. Goodbye. Winds of Change, The Elements of Time by Sam Paisley. This is going to stay on my list for sure. I've heard really good things about it. It feels another another one of those books that I just kind of have to read. It sounds very interesting. The Golem and the Jinni, or the Jinni, does not sound like that to me. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. Alvin loved it. Dani loved it. Cams loved it. Cams, I didn't mention before, but Cams also has a fantastic YouTube channel. I've mentioned him before on my channel, but anyway, he also loved it. So, okay, I was wrong. For some reason, I felt like this is one that I could skip. I'm absolutely keeping that. Congratulations, book. The Ferryman by Justin Cronin. I think I'm going to remove this. Sci-fi dystopian. Probably very good, but I just am not in that mood right now. So if ever I am, this can get added back onto my list. Okay, only a couple to go. The Way of the Wizard, or just Way of the Wizard, by Michael Mitchell. Oh, this one. I remember this. I really wanted to read this. It sounded really good to me, and the cover, I mean, you can't tell me that doesn't look insane, right? That's a wild cover. Congratulations to the illustrator of that. It's really well done. But I remember this. Mair, again, read this and did not like it, which was a bummer. And I remember that this comment on this is going to be me saying, oh no, because again, I was really excited about it, but Mair did not enjoy it. I do think that I own it though, so I will probably eventually get to it, but I'm not in a rush. So I'm going to remove it from this, and if I'm scrolling through my Kindle and I see it, maybe I'll pick it up. But yeah, again, not in a rush. Ladies of Grace Adieu and Other Stories. This is a short story collection by Susanna Clarke set in the world of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And I loved Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I absolutely want to be picking this up at some point. I've heard it's good. It's more of that world, which is fun, but not mind blowing. But that's fine. I think at some point I will just need more Susanna Clarke because I don't know when her next book is coming out, and I'll pick this up and I will have a great time with it, I'm sure. The City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett. I just finished reading my second Robert Jackson Bennett book the other day, or not long ago, and I loved it. But I don't know that City of Stairs is what I want to read by him next. I think I would go probably to Foundry side before going to this. If you've read either or both of those series, let me know which one you think that I should go to next. But I think right now I'm going to take City of Stairs off of my list. And with that, we've made it through another 100 books. Okay, so good progress, but not as much cutting as we usually do. At least it didn't feel like I did a lot of cutting. I feel like there were large chunks of books there that we kept, which is fine. That's going to happen. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see if I made any horrible mistakes this time. So please, as always, let me know if you think I made a mistake. Did I take anything off that you think I should have left on? Did I leave anything on that you think I should have taken off? Let me know all of it. We are really close to the end here. We're breaking into the 800s now, and I have just under 900 books on this list, and that does mean that the next time you see one of these videos, it'll be the last time that we're going through this list, at least for the first time. There's a couple things that we'll need to do in videos after the next video, where I want to like clean up and wrap up this series, but we're really close. It's a bittersweet thing. I'm kind of excited to move on, but I'm a little nervous to have to fill this slot every month. So I've had a lot of fun with this, and I really appreciate everybody following along and helping me trim down this list. So yeah. Anyway, we'll talk more about that in the coming months, but for now, that's all I got for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.